releases our broadhead breakdown.
Trad heavy content.
Trad heavy content. I saw that the Veneri guys just released a trad video. I guess Nick's starting his journey with the recurve as well.
Motherfuckers!
Right? Damn. Just lined up. Nick, we're coming for you, buddy. All right, everybody, welcome back to episode 58, Field of Food Table Talk. We're going to be actually using our OG table because it is vacation season, and you got back from your vacation earlier this week, and we didn't take a vacation this summer, so here we are.
Nice.
Hope everybody
Nick is currently on vacation.
Yeah, I hope everybody on the Field of Food roster is having a great vacation. So we're going to start off this episode series, because we got 4 that we're going to record tonight, with another recurve episode following up from last week where we broke down our broadheads, how they performed, how they did not perform, and then building off from there, we're going to go with our bows this episode. Yeah. So before we dive into the episode, the foundation that we're going to highlight is Operation Barbecue Relief. That is, if there is a natural disaster or some kind of unfortunate event where people are without food and shelter, Operation Barbecue Relief is a food service that comes in and they're able to provide food. So you can find them at operationbarbecuerelief.org. And that information will be provided below. And I Field of Food front, news coming up soon. This episode's going to be released July 25th, so we should have started the release dates for our recurve series, where I do unboxing for a recurve, and then episode 2 is where Kyle shows me how to set up a recurve, and then episode 3 still needs recorded. So we'll see. But we're going to talk about the journey of the recurve so far in this episode, which is what that series is also going to highlight. So just a quick synopsis. You and I have been shooting recurve for about 7 months now.
I started
consistently.
January, yeah. You started, I want to say
March,
yeah.
Dead center of March. So where we are now with our recurve journey is when we first started, we were happy to hit the target.
Oh yeah. That was a big thing.
Now it's how good can I get my group out to, as we were discussing off camera, 25.
Yeah.
I
think 25 for me. That's a push in a hunting scenario.
Yeah.
Like I said, my goal this year is to keep it 15 and under, just for the little bit of stress off of my shoulders.
Yeah.
Because like we talked about in the last video, they're not screaming fast.
Mm-hmm.
You got a heavy lug of an arrow flying through the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's doing your work. You have no velocity is not your friend.
Nope.
In the trad game.
Nope.
And it takes a long time for that 500 plus grain arrow to get to that target going 150 feet per second.
Yeah. I know. I think about some of the experiences that I've had with archery in the past and how quick and fast and flat compound arrow shoots. But then going to a recurve, there's so many situations to where, just playing back in my mind, I don't know if I'm going to want to shoot. If that deer has any hint that I'm there, it's going to have to be 15 and under.
Oh yeah,
because if it's at that 20 or 25, that thing's going to duck the string and I'm just going to see a white tail running.
I've recorded me shooting at 15 with the camera on the target because I want to be able to kind of judge what the sound of my bow is at that distance.
Yeah.
And then B, the speed relative to what I think the speed is with my eye, because naturally, I always think my arrows fly slower when I'm watching them than they actually do.
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
Agreed. Yeah.
I shoot a deer, I feel like it takes 4.5 minutes for that arrow to get there.
You got postage on it.
But even in just shooting in the yard, like I was shooting my bow at 15, I'm like, dang, this thing is freaking slow, man. And then I put the camera up there, and once I watched the video back, I was like, oh, actually, no, it's a lot faster than I think it is. It's just my mind playing a trick on me.
Yeah. Plus, it's the anticipation of seeing where that arrow is going to hit. So you're like really focused on it. Makes it seem like it's going slower than it actually is. Yeah.
But now I've gotten to the point too, and I'm shooting where I know off the release, I'm like, that's good.
Yeah. I will say.
I learned now what my bad release feels like, what my good release feels like. And if I have a good release, I'm like, ooh, yeah, that money. And 9 out of 10 times, it's right exactly where I wanted it to be.
Yeah. I've noticed in the past couple of years shooting compound, really diving into it, and you and I start shooting early typically anyways, but there's a in the zone feeling that I would really only ever feel that last 4 or 5 weeks of shooting prior to season to where I'm like, okay, this is what it's supposed to feel like. This is comfort. This is confidence. This is how I want to feel in the woods. And now with the recurve having started back in March,
you're already in that zone.
I am in that zone. And the twice now I've grabbed my compound just to shoot it, and I changed the arrow setup just a little bit too. And I'm not even entertaining a 20-yard shot with the compound to start with. I'm starting back at 30 and 40, and those groups are just as good as I was practicing out last year at 20. So the compound is going to be excelled exponentially because of the recurve practice.
You're learning more discipline shooting
yes,
recurve.
Absolutely. And I always felt like I was a disciplined archer when it comes to compound, but target panic. Never blacked out, never really had that like, oh, what just happened moment after shooting the compound. But now with the recurve, like I know that focus on where I want to hit is just completely eliminated. So far, the only thing that we shot was that pig so far, but that has eliminated that target panic of, I hope this is a good shot, to where like as I'm in the moment, I know it's a good shot.
Yeah, if you're dialed in, you're dialed in.
Yeah. That's a good feeling to have.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
It's deadly.
I know. Oh, we need to get a paint markers for our bows, by the way.
We do.
So we can tally up our kills.
Well, how many are we allowed here? 6 in the state. Then we're both going to PA with 2 tags.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're primarily after a bear, though, and not a buck.
It depends how Nebraska goes. So my fall looks like Nebraska in September for mule deer, and now antelope, because I just found out today that we got the second drawing for antelope. That's going to be DJ and I. If I'm able to get a antelope or a mule deer, I'm probably going to be really heavy focused on bear out in PA. But if I come back from Nebraska with my tail between my legs, I'm a lot better deer hunter than I am a bear hunter.
Yeah, but are you willing to trade your buck tag for a doe tag and use a muzzleloader?
We'll see.
Because, like, personally, I could give a rat's ass about shooting a deer with a muzzleloader out there.
Yeah.
I would rather just bow hunt the 10 days we're there.
Yeah.
I'm not picky about shooting a buck or not. So if I get a doe, I'll be just as happy. But we have just between PA and Ohio, we have the opportunity to shoot 8 deer.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, I'm not going to shoot 8 deer.
No, but you're going to shoot more than you did last year and probably the last couple of years, because now that
last year was rough. I lost half my season.
Yeah, but your household's bigger now too, so you want a little bit more meat in the freezer. Last year,
well, Brooke's hunting this year. This will be her first deer season.
Yeah.
She's made the agreement because she doesn't like how I clean squirrels, so every squirrel that gets shot, she will clean.
Shucks.
So my new goal is to shoot 50 squirrels this year.
Okay.
Came close last year. We got 44.
Yeah, I was going to say you got 44 last year.
So 50's not that big of a stretch.
That's a good goal.
But I have a feeling by squirrel 15, she's going to be like, God, we got to stop. We got to slow this down.
Just keep eating them, just so they don't stack up in the freezer. I think once they start stacking up, your mind's like, oh, I can slow down.
Well, see, I'm a big fan of hunting them in the morning, eating them in the evening.
Yeah.
I'll go kill 4 squirrels in the morning, and I'm eating 4 squirrels for dinner.
Nothing wrong with that.
At least, maybe not all of them, but at least part of them.
Yeah.
So, like, we killed 44 squirrels last year. I think Dad killed 10 of those. And Brooklyn came out a few times with me. She only killed 2 or 3. I killed the rest. And at the end of the season, I had 6 squirrels in my freezer. So out of
Hungry boy.
32 squirrels,
Yeah.
I ate 26 of them very close to when I shot them.
I'd go out on an adventure and say most hunters don't eat 30 squirrels throughout their hunting career.
I know guys that haven't eaten a single squirrel and they're hunters.
Really?
It was funny. I work with a guy, older guy, getting close to retirement. He owns a little piece of property out by some public land, pretty close to where we hunted this year, out of Berlin. And he only owns like 2 acres, but it butts up against a landlocked 200-acre piece of public.
Okay.
And I asked him, I was like, hey, you ever squirrel hunt out there? He's like, I only ever went squirrel hunting one time, and it was like 40 years ago. And he was like, is it fun? And I was like, Bill, it is a fucking blast. Let me tell you. He's like, is it more fun than deer hunting? I was like, I would rather squirrel hunt than deer hunt most days.
Yeah.
If it's the right time of year, I'm like, it's hard for me to choose anymore.
Yeah, that's fair.
He was like, I'd like to go if you would go with me. Bill, say the word.
Give me a time and a date, dude.
Just let me know when you want to go. I'm there.
Yeah.
Your place is a half hour from the house. I can be there.
I feel the same way about squirrel hunting. A couple years ago when I was on the OKS Hunter podcast, they asked if I did any small game hunting as well, and I was like, honestly, I prefer it. Like you're mobile, you're with buddies, you're having fun.
To me, it's less stress.
I was just gonna say that, less stressful. Yeah.
I don't have to worry about my scent, how I'm getting in, how I'm getting out. Mm-hmm. I can work a whole shift and on the way home be like, I want to go squirrel hunt, and take a left instead of a right, and I'm there.
Yeah.
Because last year, my squirrel rifle stayed in the truck pretty much up until I had my surgery.
And I've missed a handful of squirrels, and that's never once haunted me in my sleep.
No.
There's been a couple of bucks that I still think about to this day.
I've had some days where I've missed some squirrel, like I've missed more than I should have, and I'm like,
What was that about?
what's wrong with me?
Yeah, right? No, that's fair.
But again, people look at me weird because people are like, oh yeah, I hunt them with a 22 mag. They're like, oh, okay. And I tell them like, oh, $1,000 rifle for squirrels. They're like, why?
It's something you love doing, you're going to keep doing.
But like when I bought that rifle, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm spending $1,000 on a squirrel rifle. And then I was like, well, as much as I squirrel hunt more in a year than most people probably do in a decade.
Yeah.
I know I squirrel hunted more than deer hunted last year.
Of all the hunting buddies I know, aside from my brother and Nick, but Nick's never invited me. It's always been like, hey, we're going, Nick, you want to come? You by far are the more involved with small game hunting. Like you are the bird guy of squirrel. Like that is your thing.
I'm the fucking hillbilly.
Yeah. That is for sure.
I'm Chris Hendershot, just a little bit dumber. I don't need a dog.
It would be nice to have a dog for squirrel. Our blue heeler Pepper, you've went with her a couple times.
Yeah, she got last year we went. Oh, that was like January, I think. We went out there where we all went in the group hunt.
Yeah,
and we wouldn't have got that squirrel if it wasn't for her. She just stayed at the base of that tree, and it was a black squirrel at the top of a pine. And I just happened to see its tail flick straight up, and I was like, oh, there's one right there. I never saw that squirrel if it wasn't for her.
The only problem with her, and I'm pointing because she's sleeping underneath one of the couches in the background, is that she has an attention span. And once we're an hour plus in a hunt, I'm gonna go find sticks.
Yep.
That was just something that we were never able to train out of her.
Yeah.
And that's our fault. That's not hers. We're not expert dog trainers. We didn't really research as much as we could have. But I mean, it's definitely fun getting in the woods and walking with your dog. That's for sure.
Yeah. I tried to convince Brooke that we need to get a feist.
Oh yeah.
And
I had a guy on TikTok comment on that. It's like, if you want a good squirrel dog, get a feist.
Yeah. I tried to sell it as, look how cute it is. Didn't work.
No.
Then I tried to sell it as a squirrel dog. Didn't work again.
No.
So I was like, I don't think we're getting a feist.
No, I don't think you are.
No, I look forward to small game hunting more than I do big. Obviously, PA is a different story. That's like, to me, that's a bigger trip. I tend not to venture far for deer. I stay pretty local. Stay close to home. Maybe once a year I go down to my buddy's place in Southern Ohio for a day, and during gun season, or maybe go out for an evening bow hunt. That's about it.
You said this is your first out-of-state deer hunt.
My first out-of-state public land. Oh, yeah, I will say public land deer hunt. I've hunted public land a few times in the past. When Nick first got out of the service, he was like, I want to hunt. And I was like, well, not taking it in my spot because you don't know what you're doing. And he was like, okay, that's fair. And I was like, but there's good public right down the road. And we hunted there a couple times. Yeah. But I really don't count those. It was the one time we got there, it was like an hour to dark. And I was like, all right, well, let's see what we can do. And then the next time, I told Nick to be at my house an hour before sunrise. He shows up an hour after sunrise with breakfast. He's like, let's eat. And I was like, no, we got to go.
It's time to go, buddy. It's hunting time.
So I really don't count those two as my public land career.
No, probably not.
So this will be my first hard attempt at public and my first out-of-state deer hunt.
Okay. Well, that's going to be our segue for the next episode. On the next Table Talk episode, episode 58, we'll be talking about e-scouting, because that's pretty much what we're going to be doing.
Wait, isn't this 58?
59. Episode 59. We'll be talking about e-scouting, because I have history in PA, but never this piece of PA that we're hopefully going to get our tags for, because we have to put in for our doe permits here in a couple of days. And I've never once hunted west of the Mississippi. So the Nebraska trip's going to be my first.
There you go.
So we have a lot of e-scouting coming up. So tips, tricks, and what to look for on e-scouting coming up here soon.
That's pretty good.
What was our time?